you feeling?
Who, me?
Yes.
Well, the last shot I hit today on that 18th hole was pretty good.
Oh,
Other than that,
okay.
you know, what's
You
it?
figured out how to unlock those hips, huh?
The
Hello,
first
please.
I had a called a Tavern, which was
Ah,
a valve replacement,
Hey, Susan.
oh,
and it was wonderful.
okay. But I know we were.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Excuse me. Shabbat shalom. I'm going to mute everybody's screen. Please, if you're participating in the service, please unmute when it's time for you to participate. And Cantor and Rabbi, please unmute yourselves when I go on screen. Enjoy the service.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I hope everybody, except unless you're in the service, and you should know when you're coming up, we'll call on you just to make sure, because this is a technological marvel.
Jane, please get Monique Miller in. She's trying to get in right now.
Was she chairman? Chairman of the board? Because we've been letting everyone in,
You have to have a name.
but someone's name was chairman of the board. So if that was Monique's, then that would be the reason.
Okay. So, welcome. It's for tonight. This is a little bit of an experiment because we're going to have so many people coming in. And let me warn you ahead of time. Mr. Apple just messaged me on my screen that my internet connection is unstable, which is a metaphor for my life. So if for some reason the technological gods who do not like me decide that they would rather go watch The Bachelor, I will try to get back. But the Cantor has the outline and all of you who have where you're supposed to be. So I offer a prayer to the technology gods. Please be kind. But we have close to 60 screens, which is very nice for Shabbat, just like a regular Friday night in the building. And that's cool. So again, this is a little bit of an experiment. We're going to have lots of people joining us in and out. So when it comes up to your time, I'm going to give you your cue. So when you hear your name, it's like that old picture books when we were kids. If I had the sound of a buzzer, when I sound the buzzer, you unmute. And then as soon as you're done, mute yourself. Okay? It's real simple. It's real simple. It's nice to see so many generations. Allison, that looks, 2 little kids. Very cool. I hope you're healthy and I hope everybody's safe and I hope everybody's healthy. So Shabbat Shalom. We're going to begin this tonight with a little bit of a welcome. That was the unofficial. That was the welcome before the welcome, which most rabbis do. It's the introduction before the introduction. Care and community is something that's very, very close to my heart. When the Reform movement really started to push this program in about 1981, 82, they asked me as a regional director to head up a committee for the Reform movement on the synagogue as a caring community. The result of that is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of synagogues all across the denominations now have something. And Ahavat Chesed is one of the best. And we honor them tonight as they should be honored, as every synagogue should be honoring the people who really do a lot of the wonderful hands-on chesed works. There's this week was Tu B'Shvat in the Jewish calendar, the New Year of the Trees. What does it have to do with us? There's a wonderful midrash about trees. I think it's from Pirkei Avot, but don't hold me to it. Those of you who have Sepharia, you can look it up and tell me if I'm right or wrong. The midrash is really that don't be fooled by a tree that has huge leaves and branches, as opposed to a tree that is not as beautiful on top, but whose roots are very firm and strong. Because in a wind, that first tree can easily be blown over. But a tree whose roots are firm and strong and deep over time, that survives. A caring community program like Ahava Chesed provides the deep roots for a community. You touch people. We'll hear about some of those stories tonight. You touch people in them sometimes in the most vulnerable moments of their life. You support them. You hold them. More than any sermon, more than anything else, people are there with people to fundamentally validate what I call the theology of relationships. So that's why we honor you tonight, because you do the mitzvah. You do those mitzvot that we'll read about tomorrow morning at services when you all come, and the Eile Devarim prayer at 10:30. Don't forget, we're taking names. That prayer that talks about the very, very basic things that every Jew is obligated to do. And really, that's what a caring community does. All those things: visit the sick, rejoice, mourn, accompany. That's what you do. So remember that image of the tree, because by doing what you're doing, you're providing those firm, strong, deep roots that cement and hold the community together. So we welcome you. And to lead off tonight, before we turn with the cantor to Zimru Ladonai, I'm going to ask Ruthie. Ruthie, why don't you lead us off with that poem? Unmute yourself, and you're on.
Thank you. I was asked by Susan to write a special poem for the Caring Committee. And because the Caring Committee is made up of so many different people and are known by so many different names, this poem had to have many different titles, and there were actually several different poems, but this is what I settled on, and I had to give it 3 names. Our Heroes, by many names, Who's That Mensch, and another one was Who's That Guy? Who brings you your chicken soup, delivers groceries to your stoop, walks your dogs around the block, gives you rides to see the dock, sends a cheery card when you aren't well, calls you up with funny stories to tell. They are the heroes here at Temple, our very own brigade of angels. Each one plays a different part. All possess a great big heart and are indeed the very essence of congregation, Ahavath Hesed. Thank you.
Thank you. Toda Rabah. Page 1, please join with Cantor Barry in Zimru Ladonai.
We're at the bottom of the page. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Zamru.
Thank you, Canterbury. It's good to see the Weinstocks rocking out, kissing and everything. And that's really, remember, you're on camera, boys and girls. It's the one thing about the Zoom things. We're all going to have stories, but carry on. Don't let us get in your way. Just go for it. Congratulations. On page 2, if the Miller family and the Patton family could unmute and lead us in the congregation in the lighting of the candles and the blessing. Page 2.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
O
Source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who join us, need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Now we can light.
Light them up. And the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Go ahead.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Thank you. Yeah, your mommy did great.
Yay.
Go ahead. Carrie, are you singing or not?
Oh, I wasn't going. I can.
Okay.
We
That's all right.
can. We can. I've got it right here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של
And I'd invite all of you to look at the bottom of page 2, and invite Jack and David to lead us in that meditation. Unmute and go ahead.
We offer thanks, O God, for Shabbat, which unifies us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Thank you, guys. On the top of page 3, please join Canterbury with the Shalom Aleichem.
Mute, David. Mute. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And we continue on the bottom of page 3 with this meditation. There are days, and invite Jody to lead us in this meditation.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace.
Thank you, Jody. On the top of page 4, we begin this string of melodies with the Locha Dodi. And remember, as we get to Bowie V'Shalom, the tradition is we rise, if you are able, or in spirit, and we face the entrance to the sanctuary. In this case, you may face the entrance to your door and welcome the Shabbat bride. And then we'll move right into Chatzi Kaddish and then right into the Baruch Hu. So as we get to Bowie, we rise, and then we'll flow right into the next several prayers, ending with the Baruch Hu. The Chadodi.
Shabbat nikabela, Chadodi likrat kala, Ene Shabbat nikabela, Shahamor v'zachor v'diburecha, Nishmiyachanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shinu tiferet v'litila, Shabbat lechu v'necha, Kivi mekor habracha, Meherosh mikedem, Nisucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Enei Shabbat nikabela, Chadodi likrat kala, Enei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, Kiva oreach miori, ori shidaberi, Kivor Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Enei Shabbat nikabela, Chadodi likrat kala, Enei Shabbat nikabela. Bohoi l'shalom ma'ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei am sigula, U'ichala b'u'ichala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Enei Shabbat nikabela, Chadodi likrat kala, Enei Shabbat nikabela.
Page 5.
Yirkada v'yitkada shmei Rabba.
Amen.
Yamad yifrach yirutei v'yamlich machutei. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריך.
Brechu.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירה תושבחתה ונחמתה דל מירן מימה ויאמרו אמן. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yadalai, lai, yadalai, lai, yadalai, lai, yadalai, lai, yadalai, lai, yadalai, lai, yadalai, lai,
May be seated, and we'll continue on page 5, on the bottom of page 5, the bottom of page 5. And we invite Mark and Susie Snitzer to lead us in that meditation. Unmute, go ahead.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and change of the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzal is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, Mariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And on the next page, on page 6, we have 2 meditations, the everlasting love and the wisdom and wonder. And to lead us in those meditations and this bridge of prayers between the Baruch Hu and the Shema Ve'ahavta, we invite to start Felice Calistro, and to follow up Gabby Young. Felice, unmute, go ahead.
Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Gabby?
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
And the expression of love and God's love for his people Israel is manifest in the Shema. We ask you to rise in body or spirit for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And on page 7 to lead us in the V'ahavta, Lisa and Joe.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol lavavka uv'kol nafsheka uv'kol me'odeka v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anoki metzaveka hayom alevaveka v'shinantam levaneka v'dibarta v'shiktaka v'teka uv'leftaka v'derek uv'shakbeka uv'kumaka v'kshartam leot ayadeka v'hayu letotafot b'neineka uv'tavtam amizazot b'teka uv'ishareka leman tiskeru vatzitem et kol mitzvotai
V'tem
v'ditem kedeshim lelehechem ani Adonai Elehechem asher hotzeitiechem mi'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elehechem Adonai Elehechem emet.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act.
Why did you unmute him? He got muted.
Here we go.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Thank you, guys. On page 8, in the middle of the page, this very, very lovely meditation. I'm going to ask Renee to do that and lead us in that. And that's going to lead us right into the Hebrew right below that on page 8, the Micha Mocha. And this is a tease for tomorrow morning's Torah study. I'll see all of you there at 9 o'clock because we have, as I said, we've taken names, so we will take attendance. But this is from this week's Torah portion, which we'll talk about a lot tomorrow morning. And it's also Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of the song. And this is the song of liberation, the Micha Mocha. So we're going to read this tomorrow. This is a special Shabbat because it comes in this prayer directly from this week's Torah portion. And we begin to introduce that with Renee, when evil darkens, in the middle of page 8.
When evil darkens our world, let us be the bearers of light. When fists are clenched in self-righteous rage, let our hands be open for the sake of peace. When injustice slams doors on the ill, the poor, the old, and the stranger, let us pry the doors open. Where shelter is lacking, let us be the builders. Where food and clothing are needed, let us be providers. Where knowledge is denied, let us be champions of learning. When dissent is stifled, let our voices speak truth to power. When the earth and its creatures are threatened, let us be their guardians. When bias, greed, and bigotry erode our country's values, let us proclaim liberty throughout the land. In the places where no one acts like a human being, let us bring courage. Let us bring compassion. Let us bring humanity.
Amen. Mi chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדון בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדון בקודש. נולדי לו עושה פלא, נולדי לו עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. בחרתך ובניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו אמרו, זה אלינו אמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדון בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדון בקודש. נולדי לו עושה פלא, נולדי לו עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
And on the top of page 9, this translation of the Hashki Venu, the nighttime prayer. And we go back and ask Renee to lead us in this English on the top of page 9, beginning Grant, O God.
Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and rise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us a shelter of peace. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence, we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Thank you, Renee. Ask you to please turn to page 10 and join with the cantor in the Vishamra.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Be near me. אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם כי שש ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם ויום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם.
And as we prepare to get our souls ready for the tefillah, we'd invite Karen to offer a poem to prepare our souls for the major prayer. Karen?
Prayer for tolerance. Teach us, God, to treasure the differences that distinguish one person from another. Fill us with the strength to overcome senseless fear and hatred. Open our hearts to the radiance that shines forth from every human soul. Inspire us to shed our apathy. Remind us that it is our obligation to be responsible to one another. Open our ears to the cries of all who are in need of our assistance. Give us the courage to combat prejudice and intolerance wherever they exist. Teach us to see each other through your eyes, God. In your eyes, all people are equally loved, equally precious. Bless us all, God, with compassion, with kindness, and with peace. Amen.
Thank you, Karen. Do me a favor. Just copy that, and will you do me a favor and send it to Congress? Perhaps they can. They could perhaps use that.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, from your mouth to God's ears. On page 11, at the top of page 11, we're going to invite Anne to lead us in that meditation, and then we're going to go right into the tefillah. Ask you to rise in body or spirit, because we're going to be led by Rabbi and Marilyn Goodman. So first, Anne, on the top of page 11.
You are blessed and you are holy. You are blessed and you are praised. You are blessed and you are faithful to the ones who praise your name. You are kind and you are healing. You are cleansing of my soul. You are loved and pure and gracious. You are real and make me whole. Open my lips for your praises, so show through your graces. Open up my lips, open up my lips. You are wise and you are sparing. You are merciful and clear. You are utter perfection, no more wrong directions. I am loved and I am here.
Being led by Rabbi and Marilyn Goodman, we ask you to rise in body or spirit for the tefillah.
And so you can.
Right. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yadi tahilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע.
משיב הרוח,
מוריד את השם. מחלקת אל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. With a drop of chutzpah.
Toda Rabah. Mitsuyan, you could go on, make your CD now of big liturgical hits.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. That was cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On page 13, we continue with two prayers on two meditations on the top and the bottom. And to lead us in these meditations from Holiness of this Day, we invite Mindy Grinnan. And on the bottom, you are with us, Laura Miller. So Mindy, Laura, go ahead.
May these days of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otaha livadcha b'yirah navod.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it is an honor and a pleasure to call on for a few words, Susan and Nicole. Unmute. Susan.
One mitzvah at a time. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you this evening, speaking as the co-chair of the Temple Caring Committee. This has been a labor of love for me because we are able to make a difference in the lives of so many people. Our phone calls, our cards, the meals we have delivered, and more give a chance to reach out to you during this trying and difficult time in our lives. Nicole and I are very proud of the work of our committee members. Each of them gives freely of their time and energy to reach out to so many people. Let me tell you about a few of our committee members. Some of you may have received a lovely handwritten note from our dedicated member, Karen Backelman. These beautiful cards were designed by Barbara Kirsch using her own artwork. Karen has sent out more than 300 notes to wish our Temple family a speedy recovery, words of condolence, Mazel Tov, and more. You may also be seeing some special handmade cards from our youngest member, Evie Flynn, who's the 9-year-old daughter of Caitlin Flynn. Evie received a Cricut machine for Hanukkah, and now she makes special cards for the Caring Committee. When Caitlin's father had COVID, he needed the Caring Committee. And now Caitlin and Evie give back by making cards. Let me tell you about Barbie Young, who makes at least 20 weekly phone calls to shut-ins. She's been in touch by phone with our dear congregate, Arnold Core. Before the pandemic, Arnold could be seen every Friday night at the temple front door, wearing his military veteran's hat and cheerfully greeting everyone as they arrive for services. Now, Arnold is one of many congregants feeling isolated due to the pandemic. Barbie tells us that Arnold enjoys their weekly phone calls because it gives him a chance to share his war stories from World War II. Allison visits new mommies and babies. Mindy was able to help an older couple create an account with their grocery store so they could have food and medicine delivered. Laura Miller shops for the Cove residents at Publix every week. Monique Miller delivers caring baskets for clergy and staff and provides meals and comes to the aid of JFCS. Cheryl Kovitz is our audacious hospitality gal who welcomes everyone. Every one of our members has a story to tell. These are just a few of them. Thank you for allowing us to bring to you a little bit of what makes our congregation such a wonderful, special temple family. Amen.
Thank you, Susan. Having set these programs up in congregations for the last God knows how many years, I can tell you the first thing you said is perhaps the truest thing, and the idea of one mitzvah at a time. And the reason why I'm happy that we're doing this is because so often the members of a caring community do this, without great fanfare. And this is the real work of a congregation. One relationship at a time, one mitzvah at a time. So again, kol hakavod, as we say, great honor to you. Think about that. Think about the mitzvahs. Think about how you may have been touched by one of these people as we pause for a moment of silent prayer. On the top of page 17, we find the liturgy for the prayer, the Mishaberach, their prayer for healing. These times call for this in so many different ways. As Susan referred to, there's so many people who are really in need of healing, not only of the body, but of the soul and of the spirit, and not only individuals that we know, but in truth, to be honest, and as we all know this, our whole country, which is hurting in so many ways. So we pray for all of these people. And not only that, we offer always prayers for the people, the caregivers, people who take care of these individuals, like the caring community, who give of their time. Not only volunteers like the caring community, but nurses and doctors and healthcare workers and key workers who now are on the front lines, who struggle to bring shalom and shlemut. And so we bring to mind those members and friends of the congregation in this Mishaberach prayer. Carol Babcock, Malcolm Bloom, Philip Bloom, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Dr. David Cassius, Peggy Sarin Clark, Stuart Cohn, Arnold Kaur, Tom Davis, Devorah Bat-Rachel, the Elkin family, Art Fields, Bob Flynn, David Hampton, Margaret Hare, Mary Hartman, Margie Jacobs, Judy and Ben Jacobson, Kimberly Janis, Robert Kay, Marilyn Levitt, Teresa Levy, Roseanne Macon, Judy Major, Barbara McDonald, Gary Nadler, David Osowski, Laura Osowski, Marilyn Pankin, James Penson, Tom Pines, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Randall Rout, Marlene Rebb, Sandra Resnikoff, Ida Richin, Anita Richin, Alex Rossin, Laura Rothstein, Stephanie Sibilia, Ruthie Silver, Jan Smith, Bob Tews, Bernice Tobias, Ruth Van Alstine, Judy Van Gorder, Joanne Waits, Carolyn Wenk, Susan Wolf, Brindley Standridge, Micah Standridge, Mark Travis, Martin Adler. Cantor, do we have additional names?
We do. We have Kathy Winterfield, Sally Constane, Paula Babadi, Laura Dill, Raquel Haralambu, Ben Burford, Samantha Denmark, Jack Gwinnis, Nicholas Sobek, Abby Israel, Kathy Schwartz, Milt Newman, Lori Weinstein, Elaine Powell, Andrew Mitro, Chuck Davis, Tim Patton, Kathy Patton, Sue Nicotra and family, Richard D'Amico, Valencia West, Deborah Gunn, Bernard and Dolores Hayett, Evelyn Seltzer Kahn, Dr. Dennis McDonough, Lori Kurland, Bruce Emanuel, Scott Kurland, Kevin and Lindsay Young, Preston Fairfax.
May all of these we have mentioned in public and those we hold still in our hearts and souls, may they receive refuah shlema, a complete and whole healing in peace and in love and in the spirit of this Shabbat, in caring. The Mishaberach.
May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu, mikol habracha lamotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
I would ask Nicole and Susan to unmute.
Our Our congregation is called Ahavath Chesed, which means we are the people who perform acts of loving kindness. Our temple caring committee has over 50 volunteers that quite literally care for this congregation during times of pandemic isolation, illness, loss, or need by providing support, solace, and hope. Our committee members continue to follow the Jewish tradition and promote a culture of caring within our temple family. This year, the Temple Caring Committee has proven to be a tremendous support during the pandemic. Each of us reaches out to congregants who may be hurting or celebrating, where the smallest actions can be very meaningful. All these efforts help create and promote the strong sense of caring to those needing our support. It is this sense of community and selfless giving that makes this group a gift to members of this congregation. The Caring Committee looks forward to continuing to enhance the warm and caring environment that makes our temple family so special.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. And again, just to echo, especially in this moment of pandemic and isolation, believe it or not, I was just talking to one of my HUC classes yesterday, and believe it or not, it's almost a year. So now 11 months since the shutdown began. And it's hard to believe, but it's true. And in a lot of the work that I do for my Jewish sacred aging work, exactly what Susan was talking about, the fact that so many people are isolated and in many cases rely on exactly what you guys do, to reach out, to make contact, to bring, to support, and spiritually to hold them. So for that, again, as I said before, you are modeling the highest of mitzvot, the highest of mitzvot. So I hope that you continue to have the strength, and if for those of you who are not members of this committee and feel inspired and want to give back to the community, if you talk to Susan, she'll probably be able to find something for you to do to really bring that sense of, because all the giving is returned back to you in many, many ways. The joy of doing the mitzvah is not only for the person who received the mitzvah, but you, as I would imagine all of the current community volunteers would attest to, when you do that mitzvah, it feels good. There's something that is very spiritual and very powerful in that. So thank you. Thank you to all of you who do this sacred and holy work. It is literally some of the most holiest and sacred work that any community can do. And we salute you, we honor you, and know that, and you should know that this congregation is indebted to you in so many ways, because as Susan said, you touch people where they live in their soul, and that is beyond any type of gratitude. It is the highest of everything. So Toda Rabah from all of us. We're going to continue the service on page 18. On page 18, I have many screens here. I only have one screen and only 25 little post squares on each screen. So I don't see Nicole. So she's not here. Okay. So on page 18, I'd ask you to rise in body or spirit and join with the cantor in the Aleinu, the middle of page 18.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם כפינו כאן, וגורלנו כחוהנם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים
your foot.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech kol haaretz vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo u'shemo echad.
Ask you to please remain standing in either body or spirit. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed from this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and of loss, of life and of death. We observe this week in this Shabbat those who's passed during this past week and for whom we are observing Shiva: Julian Prager, William F. Rain, and our colleague Rabbi Sylvan Wolf. For Shaloshim, we remember Esther Sonis and Dr. Michael Soloway. And these, the anniversary of whose passing is observed on this Shabbat. Pearl Abraham, Claire Adelson, Albert Bellet, Jack Bell, Hattie Hernstein, Renee Bloom, Harry Blumenkrantz, Jean Bach, Max Borman, Raymond Buckley, David Cantor, Abe Diamond, Herman Eisenberg, Stella Eisen, Edgar M. Felsen, Fanny Froelich, Mikhail Gavronsky, William Jacob Geiger, Selma Banks Golden, Jenny Harris, Clara Isaac, Pearl C. Jarrett, Ethel Kaufman, Fanny Kazin, Ronald Kerr, Hattie Lambert, Samuel E. Lederman, Judy Levine, Michael Levinson, Rose Lieberman, Jeanette Mayo, Keith Saul Miller, Ida Miller, Richard Miller, Lionel Olesker, Benjamin Rosenfeld, Lauren S. Rothstein, Marilyn Schwartz, Barney Schomer, Joseph Snyder, Gary L. Spivak, Bobby Yaffe. Cantor, do we have any additional names to be remembered?
We do. Coach John Chaney, Marty Chinsky, and Lloyd DeVos.
To know who put Coach Chaney in there.
That was Wyatt Bowers. Was
Yeah.
I supposed to know a
No. He was it was from my university and a bunch of Temple people in the congregation. He was a longtime great man in Philly, a real role model, and took many young men out of very underprivileged areas and made them men through his coaching. He was one of a dying breed. It's been a very tough week for people dying of great stature, and may they all rest in peace. On page 20. Thank you, Wyatt. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba. B'yoma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. B'agalav izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei olamaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalel shemei dekudisha b'rechu. Le'elo min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechamata. Da'amiram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalomo rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mama. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens above bring peace, comfort, and healing and caring to all who may be bereaved. And let us say together as a community, Amen. I ask you to please be seated. I think, there we go. I think David Coffin's on one of these screens. And David, do you want to unmute if you have any announcements?
Special thank you to Susan and Nicole and the entire caring committee. Thank you for everything that you do for our temple and for being the epitome of what I have said for a long time, many times, that we do things better when we do them together. And I thank you for everything that y'all do. Our Shabbat services continue tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with Torah study with Rabbi Address, followed by services at 10:30. The first class for Intro to Judaism is this coming Monday at 7 o'clock. And on Tuesday, Canterbury will lead Wisdom at 10:30. Keep an eye out for our upcoming Purim events, including our traditional Purim Pasta Challenge. Again, a way that we do better when we do things together. Our Pasta Challenge benefits the Max Block Food Pantry. That begins next week. You can drop off your pasta donation at Temple Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 o'clock. I wish everybody Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, David. Again, tomorrow morning at 9 is Torah study. This Torah portion is unbelievably great. Not only do you get Namicha Mocha as a bonus, but this is the great portion of the crossing of the Sea of Reeds. Now, some of you probably saw the movie, and it's nothing like the movie. The text, the book is much better than the movie. And it raises a lot of very interesting ethical challenges. The role of God gets kind of like egomaniacal and narcissistic again in this particular chapter. And some very, very interesting questions that are raised about when is it time to just stop praying, enough prayer and go out and do something, because that's raised in one of the midrash that we're going to study tomorrow. And then we're going to talk a little bit about faith, because at the end of this, it took a lot of faith to walk into that sea, whether it's literal or metaphorical. But that's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Be there. We're looking forward to, again, we have all of your names, and we know where you live. So we'll see you at 9 o'clock. Now, to conclude, Bernie and Jackie, you're on mute, and lead us in the Kiddush and the Motzi. Pour that wine, and where are you, Bernie? And there you are. All right. Thank you. Page 20, everybody.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshonu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu, b'shabbat kodechecha b'ahava u'b'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Yikron l'maaseh b'reshit, ki hu yom tehillah, li'akrof kodesh zecher v'tziyas k'tzayim. V'bonu v'yacharto v'yotonu kiyashta, v'kol ha'amim. Shabbat kodechecha b'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh haShabbat. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made us the holy Shabbat, our heritage, as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat.
L'chaim. Just a sip. Oh my gosh. Stephen and Sheila having a good time. That's not bad. Motzi?
Hamotzi, yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of all, who brings forth bread from the earth.
Amen. B'teyavon. Shabbat shalom. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And on page 21, we'll close with this Debbie Friedman's?
It is.
It's Debbie Friedman's, which is her yurt site, was this week. And for those of us who knew Debbie, she used to work for us at Camp Harlem when I was the regional director, actually on staff before I was even ordained in the late 60s, and worked with us when I served on the URJ staff for many, many years. This is her Tefillat Haderech.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. Be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. I need to say something very quickly because I'm seeing in the comments there was an extraordinary concert in Debbie Friedman's honor last night. We did advertise it in your email, in your temple email. At the very bottom, you will find every week a link that says community events. Go and click on that link because we have no other way to get the information to you about things like national concerts in honor of Debbie Friedman. It was there. So Mindy told us it was recorded and you should be able to grab it and see it. I'm sure it'll be available to us. And I know that you'll enjoy it.
Thanks. Thank you, Cantor. To all of you, I'm going to try something. We haven't even talked about this. This is a surprise. Bear with me. Susan, unmute. Susan Board. First of all, Susan, to close the service, a nice, just final blessing for the caring community. What's the first thing that comes into your mind?
Let us all recognize this caring committee for the great work that they do to keep our community together during this very hard time.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you who participated in tonight's service. It's a great benediction, Susan, to all of you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Cantor. Cantor is lovely service. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Beautiful service, everyone. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Good night.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi Marilyn, that was beautiful.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Caring committee. Thank you for all you do.
Okay.
Take care, everybody.